With its rapidly developing economy, India offers distinct growth potential compared to more mature markets like the US, with growth spanning across market caps and sectors. To help investors access these opportunities, Groww Mutual Fund has introduced the Groww Multicap Fund. It seeks to provide exposure to a wide range of market caps, helping investors tap into the diverse segments of India's evolving economy. To further explore how investors can capitalize on these growth opportunities, we are speaking with Mr. Nikhil Kothari, a financial advisor with over 15 years of experience in research and wealth management. As the director at Etica Wealth Management Pvt, Mumbai, and the co-founder of finance Infosolution, Mr. Kothari brings a wealth of knowledge, having worked previously as a research analyst at Axis Bank. In this conversation, he will share valuable insights into how retail investors can balance their portfolios across large, mid, and small cap stocks to capture growth while managing risk. But please note, this video is for educational purposes only and not a recommendation. Be sure to read the scheme information document or SID carefully and consult your financial advisor to assess its suitability for your financial goals. Let's dive in and hear what Mr. Kothari has to say. Nikhil Kothari is here to talk to us about One India, Multiple Opportunities. Nikhil, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Karanya.
So, first up, how does the growth potential in India's economy differ from that of developed markets, a US or other developed economies, for instance? And what opportunities does that present for investors across market caps?
Okay. See, Karanya, we are right now a developing nation, right? And our journey from a developing nation to a developed nation spans over multi-decades, okay? And our journey started in 1991, and we are already in the midst of this such boom. So if I take about 1991, right? What we were and how we have grown over a period of time. So before 1991, right, if I take the pre-liberation era, our GDP growth was 3.5%, right? And today, in last 10, 15, 20 years, we have grown at 6 to 8% post-liberation, right? Our FDI inflows were at meager $132 million in 1991, and today it is upward of $70 billion. Okay, and that reflects in the broader market. And the Sensex in 1991 was at 200 points, and today we are upward of 80,000. So what I'm trying to say is that this reforms have a huge bearing on the growth of the country as well as in the markets. All this has resulted in a huge growth for the country as well as opportunities across different companies. And that being said, I'm saying we are just in the midst of a journey towards Viksit Bharat. Apart from all the reforms, okay, what you also have to understand that India's growth is not only because of reforms, but there are a lot of labor productivity which has happened. So if you look at 2007 to 2023, most of the countries which has grown basically on debt. They have increased their debt levels, and because of that, the growth has happened. But in India, our total debt to GDP has come down from 2007. Last 30 years, our labor force has increased from 33 crores to 60 crores, which is 1.8x time. So the growth was predominantly by a labor productivity, which has happened because of a lot of reforms like digital economy, our innovation has happened, technology has happened. So because of that, a labor productivity has resulted in huge growth for the country. So today, the major benefit what India has is demographics. Our median age of our population is 28 years old, and we have the youngest population in the globally. In terms of India has the youngest population, and more people are coming to the workforce. Okay, and this workforce willing to use technology, okay, and that will lead to huge productivity. Okay, our geopolitical stand is in very good shape right now, which also boosts investor confidence, okay, and leads to huge amount of capital inflows. This is a multi-decade opportunity because we are moving from a developing nation to a developed nation. So this is where India's strength is compared to the global world.
So now, given the different, varying market structures here in the Indian market, how can retail investors sort of look to balance their investments across mid caps, large caps, small caps, at the same time chasing growth and balancing risk? So how can they possibly do that?
Now, in every segment, there will be different set of companies. Okay, so in India, we have many companies, okay, which are market leader field, but they are still a small size companies because the universe itself is not very big in terms of industry itself, but they are still a market leader. So there are lots of opportunities in large cap. Apart from that, there are lots of opportunities in mid and small cap also, right? So just to give you example, if someone is looking at large cap, we have very large banks. So if any credit growth is going to happen in the country because we are still under penetrated when it comes to the debts, individual debt, penetration, right? So if that happens, that will lead to a huge amount of growth for the banks. right? Then there's FMCG companies, there are pharma companies, there are auto companies. So in large cap, you have variety of those companies. When you look at mid cap, right? So the tourism is increasing, people are traveling a lot. So airport and airport services, right? You have general insurance. So insurance penetration is still very low in the country. Okay, so and people are getting aware of insurance. So as more and more people buy general insurance, then there are general insurance company which will get benefit of it. So there are lots of opportunities in mid cap also, where there are companies which dedicate to different segments of market and people can benefit out of it. If you look at small cap also, there are a lot of companies which are in small cap, but the industry is growing. Then there are home improvement companies, there are ceramic companies, there are tiles companies. Okay, there are computer hardware and equipment companies. In every segment of market, if you look at large cap, mid cap, small cap, there are a variety of companies who will going to benefit from this journey of India from developing to developed nation. And if we invest in companies which are purely from a long-term perspective, he can manage the risk because he has to have a slightly longer time frame, and he can invest some part of the money in large cap, some part of the money in mid cap, and some part of the money in small cap to benefit from across the growth of the country.
Okay. So, how can India's young and growing population sort of be a long term growth driver, and what role do you see mid and small cap companies playing in this demographic shift?
So in 2023, Prime Minister launched a Viksit Bharat at the 2027 Voice of Youth initiative, right? Which basically the idea is to engage Indian youth in shaping up the plans and goals for Viksit Bharat. So the goal of government is very clear that we have to move from a developing to developed nation and make a Viksit Bharat thing. So in that case, a lot of youth is, I think the major part of the India's growth story is all about youth. Okay. Now, what is the major driving factor going forward? One of the driving factors is the per capita income. Okay. Today, our per capita income, okay, is roughly around $2,800 per person. So, as your per capita income is below 1,000, you basically focus on roti, kapda, and makan, right? But as your per capita income keeps on increasing, you first start consuming slightly high-end food in terms of ghee, curd, and everything. And then as your per capita income is further higher, then you start looking at you have a higher disposable income, and then you start looking at home improvement, then you start looking at investments, you start looking at insurance, right? So that is one place where you see a lot of opportunities emerging going forward. Okay. Second thing is our internet usage. Right, will with the more young population coming in, our internet usage will increase. That will lead to more productivity. Okay, which will also become a huge growth driver incrementally. Yeah. So today we have a dual income family in the country, right? So broadly, if you look at because of the dual income thing, because of the per capita income increasing, because of more women empowerment and more women workforce coming in the country, more and more younger population joining the workforce, all these factors are leading to more income in the hands of the individuals, and as a result, they start consuming more and more products. And when consumer goes and consume more products, it helps to increase the revenues for the companies, and companies start innovating more and more products on that. And which the new segments of innovation, right, is going to happen from mid and small cap companies, because new opportunities will emerge from there.
All right, Nikhil, thank you so much for taking time out and chatting with us.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully. म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिम के अधीन है। योजना संबंधी सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।